homies. We're here. We got a video for you. We're going to be talking about how to get better at rodeo, get motivation, which sometimes is a really hard thing to do, believe it or not, and just get better at life, I guess. A lot of this shit pertains to life and rodeo. So I got Tristan Madsen here with me, and we're just going to kind of talk about, with our experience, what made us better, and, you know, pretty much anything that can help. So one of the first things we like to talk about is practice. Practice is key. Buck and barrels, spur boards. For bullfighting, I get chased around with a wheelbarrow too. It sounds stupid as fuck. A lot of this stuff you look stupid, but I mean it helps a lot. Spur boards definitely help a lot. Buck and barrels really help a lot.
Not only buck and barrels, but just live practice as well.
Yeah, that too. Another thing is practice pens. From us this summer, we like to hit up pretty much any practice pen that comes up. Just got a need and a want to get on bulls and to fight bulls, you know. Biggest thing we have a problem with up north here is that there's not much practice on. Usually we're lucky if we find a practice pen every couple weeks or so. A lot of kids I talk to down south, I mean, they're getting on 3 times a week or something like that. Which is nice, but it's just a different area, and it's just a different obstacle to overcome. And a lot of the times you do find a practice pen, it's going to be the same practice pen. So same bulls or whatever. I mean, it's not a bad deal sometimes to get on the same bulls and kind of feel one out and build confidence, but other times it could help a lot more to get on something different. Keep your mind right. It's another thing with practice. Even getting on a buck and barrel. You get on, you have someone tell you what to do that knows what they're doing. I mean, you tweak something, it makes you feel 10 times better.
My mind ain't right.
What's that, Bob?
My mind ain't right.
Bob's mind ain't right, he said. But he's still riding good, so I don't know how that works. But that's a big thing right there. Anything's key with that practice, all that. Just getting on something, tweaking something, feeling it out. You go on a practice bull and you do something different. If it feels like you just rolled the hell out of something, it feels like you're a champion. Every little step, what I found, I don't know, Tristan, do you find that too? Even one little accomplishment when you're getting on something is a big step.
Set little goals and make for a bigger goal.
Every little accomplishment, it's all different steps to where you're at, and you know who you are and how serious you take it too. I know a lot of guys, some people don't take it seriously. Some people are like, hey, I want to get on a bull, or I want to do this. It's kind of a joke. But whatever, go ahead, go on with your bad self, I guess. But a lot of the kids, we got heart for it. And the other thing, too, is finding what you like to do in rodeo. I rode bulls, I rode broncs, bareback horses, and then it took me a while to kind of figure out. I love doing all of it, but you got to find where your heart's at. Another thing, working out, which I slack like crazy on this one. Tristan's probably the one in our group of 3 with Bob. He probably works out the most, but he gets after it too. I mean, I have no motivation to work out at all.
That motivation is going to be, you've got to be physically prepared for whatever you're going to withstand through the season. Depending on your season, it could be a long 3 months to either a short 2 weeks. But between that 2 short weeks, you could be hitting the road, going to different rodeos, getting on 10 different bulls. So you want to be physically and mentally prepared. A lot of with the rough stock, it's conditioning. Even with bullfighting, you got to condition your body to outlast the animal that you're competing against.
But I mean, it's something when I go do, it makes me feel great. Which definitely, you go there and you're doing it, you feel like shit. But after you get done, you feel amazing.
It's another accomplishment.
Working out's a great deal, and if you got the motivation to do it, go for it. But I definitely, that's one thing I need to work on. I do not have the motivation at all to work out. We'll talk about actual competition once you get in there. I know a lot of kids, a lot of friends for sure that will ride the hell out of something in a practice pen, just don't have the mind to do it in the different setting of an actual competition, if it's pressure, if it's what. I guess I don't know much about this because I don't ride anymore, but
what I figured out this last weekend is I needed to stay calm and just have fun, more fun with it, instead of thinking it's just a job and be more pressured about the standings or making it to the year-end championship, whatever. Just focus on that rodeo, focus on that bull, have fun, and you can do whatever you set your mind to, pretty much. But just have fun and relax.
Yeah, it sounds cheesy as hell, but when people say it, the biggest part is have fun. It's kind of true in a situation like this for sure. I mean, if you're going out and you're traveling around the rodeos and you don't enjoy it, I mean, what's the point in doing it? All of us guys, and pretty much anyone that has anything to do with rodeo, you can tell we absolutely love it. And the whole reason we do it is to have fun. And sometimes we're not so serious about it. We get a little wild, have too much fun, but it's just all part of being a cowboy and getting out there and enjoying the life. It's a lifestyle. It's not just a sport. It's sometimes hard for a lot of people to get their head right for something. A lot of people can't stay calm. I know when I first started riding, I couldn't keep myself calm at all. But once I got after it a little bit more, getting the chutes, people talked to me in the chutes and stuff like that, I couldn't hear a damn thing. I couldn't hear anyone saying nothing. And that's just all part of just getting your head right. And that also comes with time. You get on more head. I mean, if you're just starting rough stock or anything like that, you just get on and you're all jittery and stuff. That's normal. That's what happens. But as soon as I step out there, you can't beat it. Your head gets right, and you know it's business time pretty much.
See, for me in the shoe, I've noticed that lately. I listen to people on the outside.
Yeah.
Like, I got Bob pull my rope, and I listen to him, and he'll give me some good, like, go out, get him, champ kind of deal. Even some of the Mid-Plains boys in our college region, they'll tell me one and only Tristan Matson, or they'll just it's all positivity to have around you. And that's another thing, who you travel with.
Yeah, for sure. Kings run with kings, remember that. I mean, if you're running around with a traveling partner or a friend, that brings you down. I know a good pal of mine, he had trouble with a traveling partner, would never have money for fees, didn't really know what he's doing, kind of was one of them kids that just got on to say, I got on bulls. And they traveled around together, and it brought him down. He couldn't ride a thing, his head wasn't right, and I mean, this is a kid that's probably one of the most dedicated kids in rodeo I've ever seen. So it's who you're around. For me, when I couldn't hear nothing in the chutes, it made a difference who was standing there and what they're saying. You can hear it a little bit. Sometimes it goes in and out, and it just depends what kind of rider you are, too. But who's with you and who's around you, even if it's not your traveling partner, whoever's around you when you're about ready to buck out, that is big. That is key for me, I thought. Who you surround yourself with is crazy, how big a difference that can make. So always remember that. And I'm not saying a lot of these kids, you might have a pal that don't know nothing about rodeo. I'm not saying just get rid of them, that you can't talk to them anymore, but it's all about who you surround yourself and feeding off of each other, and it helps if you got someone to compete with, too, as a traveling partner, as a friend. I know pretty much all of us boys that roll around all these rodeos, and I mean, when you get in rodeo, everyone knows that you make a lot of friends. And all these friends, I mean, you're hoping like hell you're going to beat them out and score 90 or something over them and take home that buckle, but it don't matter. Every time they buck out, you're cheering for them.
You want them to be 90, but you want to be 91.
Yeah. It's a competition, that's what it is. And there's no one better to compete with other than your friends, I think. And that's the best part of it to me.
I've always had the intention that if you're, like, say you're at PRCA Rodeo and you are in the same performance as the world champ, hang your gear right next to him.
Yeah.
Feed off him, watch him, mimic him until you become him, kind of deal. Listen, like for bull riders, listen to Gary LeFew. He is the guru. He once said that he used to hang his stuff right next to George Paul. He would even talk to a stock contractor to have his bull loaded after George Paul's so he can watch him ride and then get down in the chute on his bull and then go out.
Another thing too, there's a lot of good footage on YouTube too. It's crazy, how much the rodeo community actually gets into the internet and does that stuff. Like there's a lot of good footage and a lot of people that'll teach you, and you can learn something. It's just a click away, A lot of good people. I think Gary LeFew puts a lot of his school stuff on there.
Yep.
Who's that bareback rider we've been watching lately?
Evan Jane.
He's getting big into the fitness stuff too, so that helps a lot. If you're into that sort of thing. Even non-rodeo related channels, just motivation channels, or like I said, the workout channels help a lot. It's key to something. I mean, it sounds crazy. I watched a YouTube video for this, but it's true. there's a lot of good stuff on the internet, and there's a lot of bad stuff you got to watch out too. A lot of people that don't know what they're doing. It's just kind of give and take with that, so you got to be careful too. But for sure, with my experiences, there's a lot of good stuff you can find.
You're a rough stock rider. Add a playlist on your YouTube channel that's got all your favorite rider, who you ride like, who you want to mimic, and just constantly study. It's no different than football watching for the team you're about to face that week. You just constantly want to study and just mimic what you have and keep that in the back of your mind so that you can go out and perform just like them.
You know, like you go and work with someone or hang out with a buddy, they start rubbing off on you. That's how it is. You talk the way they do, you act the way they do. It's the same with rodeo or any sports, any athletics. You see what they do, you want to mimic them because you know they're good and you know it works for them. And that stuff starts rubbing off on you. It's just how it is.
One more thing.
Oh,
If you getting yourself in a slump, keep going. Don't want to quit. Don't ever have that mindset. Just keep getting on, and eventually it'll click. It's crazy how things just click, and it'll be golden from there.
they happen all the time. No one's gonna ride the hell all the time. It happens a lot. I've been in them, even with fighting. So a couple rodeos you hit up, you just feel like you didn't put the work in, whatever. With anything, that's how it is. Can't always be on top, but we're always climbing towards the top, and one of these days we're going to be the best out there. And I think that wraps it up, don't you think?
Yeah, it's about perfect.
But all right, boys, and girls, I suppose if you're watching this, if you're out chasing cans and stuff, this might apply. But that's about all we got for you. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out, homies.